Good afternoon, US. Good evening, UK. And tonight we are going to be speaking to Robbie Crossan. How are you doing?
Hi guys, I'm fine, thanks.
So,
How's you?
I'm fine. Anyone who watches the show, I've spoken to Robbie before. He's a great medium, does past life regression, an actor as well, which is absolutely brilliant.
Man of many trades.
So, what sort of films have you been in? What?
The last big movie I was in was Avengers Endgame. I had a very, very small part on that. I was one of the fishermen in New Asgard.
Brilliant. It must be brilliant. Must be
As
fun.
well, since I've moved locations, I need to find a new agent because my agent doesn't cover this area.
Yeah. Okay, so you've moved from Scotland, you've moved into England. Yay.
Yes.
So,
What you do for love, eh?
I know, but surely it's better weather here. Got a while
No,
go.
really
How are you
not.
doing?
Just as cold.
Just as cold.
Yeah.
Well, you're not sort of like, it's like Devon and Cornwall where it gets toasty, isn't it? So, yeah, it's a bit drafty by the coast where you are. I know it quite well because I go up there quite often. I've got Charlie Rocks as well, Scott Matheson, well, Bill. Thanks everyone for watching. So tonight we're going to be speaking to Robbie. But Robbie's travelled down to Scotland and has joined a team who are called Grimsby Paranormal Investigators, who we are going to introduce now then. So can you tell us a bit about the team and then we'll bring them on?
Yeah, well, the team, it was set up about 2 years ago by two friends, Andrew and Michael. They just basically go around local areas and do what we all do. They usually go in blind first, don't know anything about the area, do the investigation, and they do the research after. I like I used to watch them for about a month or so. Then I thought to myself, these guys are actually quite good. Rough about the edges, but they get the results needed. So I contacted Andrew a couple of weeks ago, told him my story, said to him I'm looking to join a team because I'm desperate to get back out. Excuse me. So he invited me onto one of his lives last week. And it was meant to be for a past life regression, but he said he sensed an attachment. And I said to him, well, you've got two, because I could sense it. One of them was like a protector, and the other was blaming him something for something that happened in a past life which he wasn't really responsible for.
Oh dear.
So he was wanting to find out who his protector kind of thing was, the attachment. So I was like to him, I could sense who it was, but I was like to him, are you ready for this? Because if you do it behind the scenes in private, it'll be fine. If you do it live, bear in mind the world's watching you. He's like, that'll be fine. Then you can see by his facial expressions he was holding in tears because I knew it was his granddad. And sure enough, his granddad came through. I got him to asked him all the questions.
So Robbie or I frozen at the moment.
I got him to explain. I got him to tell me who he's seen, and he was describing this person, but he wasn't giving any information. I went, oh, bugger it. It's your granddad, is it? And his face just welled up and he went, ah, yeah, it is. And I got him to actually communicate to him, so he's having a full-blown conversation with him. And you could see in his face he was not wanting this session to end. So I just continued it until basically we basically ran out of time on the live.
Sorry about that. We've just lost the internet then.
All right.
So sorry for everyone there. I don't know if Robbie stayed on. Okay, I'm currently using TalkTalk and they failed to give me broadband for weeks. So I'm actually using data at the moment, which I've managed to for the other shows. But at the moment it's quite unstable. As soon as it's back to full strength, we'll invite the two guests on. So can you hear me, Robbie?
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
Oh, that's cool then. Yeah, it's gone to full strength. Oh, that's brilliant. So Robbie was on and I left. So we're fine. Okay, so then we'll bring on the two co-founders, Mike and Andrew from Grimsby Paranormal Investigators. So here's Mike and here's Andrew.
Hey, guys.
Welcome.
Hi there.
Hello. How are you?
Hello.
So, hiya. With the show, then generally, like, I like to ask people what their first encounters were. So, shall we start with Andrew then? So, what was the first time? So, are you the skeptic?
I was 2 years ago when we started. My wife told me that Mike had set up a team, and we basically went out there for fun to start with. And we went out there, and they took me to the Devil's Church at St Boltos in Skidbrook.
Oh, I went there recently. Yeah, I went there this year.
But now we went back about 2 months ago, Mike.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it would have been about 2 months ago. Yeah.
And basically, all the actual church was tipping over to its right hand side. And you can't get in there now. It's yeah, and I went in there with the guys at the time, and it was yeah. And my daughter came with me, and my wife came with me as well, and yeah, we heard some stuff through Spirit Box, EVPs we got as well, and yeah, it was very very like, wow, is there actually something there?
I think pretty much. I'll just stop you there, mate. I think pretty much where it started off with was the fact that we thought it was a bit of fun at the time. That's what happened. It's just a little bit of fun at the time. We got a group of lads together. We thought it's going to be good. We'll go and contact some ghosts, some spirits, and that. It was just a bit of a laugh on that. A few weeks had gone by. I mean, we heard the odd bits of strange noises, and we thought, this is different. Shall we do it again? So we went and did it again, and then locations started popping up, and we thought, well, we'll go here, and we're further afield. And then we started getting the T-shirts. We got more people involved, and then, as you know, after so long, people started fizzling out. They didn't believe it, and we weren't really getting much. No. And we kept the regular people, about 5 or 6 of us, and it started dying off. Obviously, COVID had hit by then. And then we said, we'll set it up before obviously hitting Christmas. And then obviously we got Robbie getting in contact with us, which pretty much started us all back off again. And just being out with Robbie just on that one night alone was just more than what we'd experienced. And that was all just in one night.
Yeah, mind blowing.
Yeah, oh, yeah, absolutely. Opened up everyone who was an unbeliever that we'd taken with us. Just overnight believed him. Yeah, honestly, it was really, truly a good night, really good. Just simple experiments as well that he was using. Do you know what I mean? He had the technology there to do better stuff and that, but he didn't need it. He didn't need it. Honestly, you could have done it with just the basic stuff that we had. We even got it down to a Coke can in the end, bottle.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
really good.
I have seen stuff. I have seen stuff when I was younger as well. Obviously, it started off. I was in a house. When you're younger, your mate gets that first house, and everyone piles around there. And I can remember being in the back room. And in the old Victorian houses, sort of like the steps go across a landing, down and back up into another room.
Yeah,
and I see what to me personally looked like a lady had gone past the window, you know, with her hair tongues and that. So for me, it was an experience. And yeah, I'm a believer in that, but it's just getting the group to believe more, and I think more will happen.
Yeah,
I think I'd say thank you to Robbie also as well, just for.
I think after Saturday night, I believe more. You believe more. We've heard more things.
100%. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, as I said to you, because you've got abilities, and we're opening that up, there's no going back now. You've done stuff like I can't physically describe unless you experience it. And by God, did you experience it on Saturday night?
Absolutely. You just couldn't explain it. You just honestly couldn't explain it, what was going on. It was as if someone was play acting it all out to us. That's what it was. It was so bizarre.
Oh, that's true. So can we go back to before then? Then you had that encounter in your house. How did you feel? Were you scared? How old were you? What was it like for you?
I don't think I was scared. I don't think I was scared. I was a bit more like shocked to what was going. I didn't understand what it was. Obviously, it threw me a little bit, but I just didn't know what it was. It didn't feel like I was scared of it at all. So whatever it was, it didn't give me the fright. I was just a bit like, that was strange. What was that?
Cool, yeah.
As I said, I was young, and but my mum, she's seen bits and bobs when she was little as well. So maybe it's just something that I've got off her and that. But obviously, with Robbie's help and that, hopefully I get to see a little bit more as well. And he's opened up Andrew. I know that from what he's told me anyway. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the thing. Like when you first go investigating, you're in a cold place. It's drafty. You just sit there.
Yeah.
You wait for something to flash like a K2. You know what I mean? And you're just so fascinated. And but most of the time, nothing happens, does it?
No.
But then when you step over this experience, something what's so mind blowing, it just changes the whole perspective. For me, it was just getting in like historic locations. You're in there, you're sitting on the floor, you're not getting tourists trampling all over you, and you're just spending time in beautiful. Well, no, not necessarily beautiful buildings, but
most of the buildings that we've been to have been derelict, so you don't know who's in there anyway. Do you know what I mean? They could be messing around, and you just want it to be so precise to know what you're getting is true to what you experience. But you can't always say that in a derelict building. Do you know what I mean? But if you're hiring our venue, at least you know you're pretty much the only people in there. So if anything is happening, you can sort of say, well, there's only us in here, so we can tick it.
Like for instance, on Saturday night before we went live, we were setting up the REM pods.
Yeah.
And the REM bear went off, and these two guys started asking it questions, and it was getting off in command
straight away. Yeah. And it was quite on par with what you was doing there. With whichever experiment we was doing, it was pretty much on par with what was the sounds that we was hearing as well. Yeah. Which that threw a lot of people who was with us sort of like, wow. Couldn't explain it.
I've watched the first part of the live back, and when me and Andrew did the walk around upstairs, we could actually, I noticed the REM pods were going off on the video when we weren't there.
Mm-hmm.
And there was no one close enough for anything to set it off.
Yeah,
and also
you did have walkie-talkies which you pulled. You did mention affecting the REM pods, which is good as well. Because in that live,
anything that can set someone off.
Well, they weren't even close enough. They weren't even close enough for them for anything to interfere with the REMs. But the walkie-talkies, we start when we were upstairs. The walkie-talkies were going on to static, and we could hear mumbling through it.
Oh wow!
Yeah. So I looked out the window. I could see. I could see Mike from the window we were at. Yeah. And he had the walkie-talkie basically clipped onto his belt.
So
we did. He wasn't actually touching it, and we were still getting voices coming through the walkie-talkie.
It was getting voices. It was getting static, weren't we?
Yeah, and it was like
it was weird because
whispers.
Yeah, the loudness of the voice that I could hear when we entered upstairs into the room, and I said, I don't know, I think it might have been to you, Robin. I said, I can hear somebody in the corridor. Yeah. But it seems to me that I should have been able to understand what they were saying, do you know, because it was so clear and so loud as well. It was enough, so I should have thought, I can hear what they're saying, but I couldn't. It was so muffled.
There's a woman and a man chatting. That's what.
That's what I was getting up.
It's fantastic.
That's what me and you, we've been speaking today. And we heard a woman and a man chatting, didn't we, Mike?
Yeah.
That's what I heard.
And also on the live, what I didn't happen to say, do you know when obviously we were saying about Andrew entering the basement? Do you remember before the screen? Him entering the basement. Well, I've been in that basement before, and I know there's a door inside. So when you open the door, you can walk through the tunnel, and to the other side is a pair of steps that goes back outside the building.
Going up.
He mentioned about the ladders. Can you remember in the live? And I didn't think then at the time, but there is actually ladders inside the basement.
It's going up.
He's never been down the basement.
There was a few things that happened we didn't actually click until actually after the live ended. For instance, we didn't hear it, but on the live you could hear tapping near the end of part one.
Yeah.
And before we went live, I did a little experiment with Andrew, and he described where we were standing was in like an office environment.
Yeah.
You could see tables. So that when we played it back, that clicking actually sounded like an old 1950s, 60s typewriter.
Yeah.
What's it?
You can hear it tapping away, won't you? Like, because they'd have to punch the letters in
Yeah, you
rather
have to
than
punch the
type it.
keys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And we
just
didn't
little
hear
things
that
like
when we
that.
were there, but we heard that
Yeah.
when we played it back in the live.
So I don't know if you guys could see on the live and that with the bottle itself, if you could see any movement. I mean, I tried to get as close as I could, but you can't scroll in on the live, so I was trying to go as close as I could.
Yeah, I watched it on the TV. You can't see it move.
Yeah.
You can see it go
It's
back
just
and
subtle
forth, Mike.
movements, but you can't see it move.
You can't see it spin like we saw it.
Well, actually,
No.
you put it. Well, we were in the circle in the centre of the room, and the bottle came
Yeah.
flying over our direction.
Yeah.
Mike screamed like a woman and like ran towards his wife to hide behind her.
Yeah.
Then
I didn't know what was going on.
but that was because we did that little experiment, and you could all like 2 or 3 could feel touching, but I think it was Eric. He actually seen like an aura, and that aura became a full-blown person standing in front of him. So we put the bottle in the middle of the room, and all of a sudden the man stood where the bottle was, and any time I got Eric to speak to him, Eric would say the responses, and the bottle would start moving at the same time.
Oh wow, that's amazing.
100%, yeah. 100%.
Okay, we've got a question then from Julie Edwards. Whereabouts was the investigation? You might not say. Sort of what area was it in?
It was in.
We can say now we've been. I don't mind.
It's in Lincolnshire, and we was at RAF Binbrook.
Right. Okay. Because I've been in the community centre there, but you were somewhere different, weren't you?
Yeah, we were
slightly different from there because I've been on an investigation with Great Medium there, but yeah. But it's a wonderful location. It really is.
It's nice.
Right next door to the base.
It's not far from the base.
It's not far. No.
I think it's to the other side. I think it is. There is something's going on at the other side. I'm not sure which side it is though.
Yeah, but the community centre was where we parked outside.
Right, because remember when we were driving
up.
Oh,
is that what that was?
When we were driving up, I said I could sense like kids.
You did say that, yeah.
Yeah, that's because we were parked.
Robbie had no recollection to where we was going.
No.
That's
no,
cool.
he ain't got a clue where we was going. So.
No, they wouldn't tell me. I told them I didn't want to know. They made sure, but the closer it got, I started sending them messages saying, "Well, I know there's something that doesn't want us, and there's something that wants to communicate with us, and by God, did we get everything."
Oh yeah, we got a good show. We got a good show. Yeah, really
that's fantastic.
Yeah.
So you've actually got this on video. You've got 2 parts. I posted one on Paranormal Path last night, in case anyone watched. We got Mark Warbank watching. I met Mark a few weeks ago. He's from Auckland. Came to UK. He's coming back to UK next year. So can't wait to meet up. We've got Eileen Murray as well. Eileen mentioned had crazy activity at tour with Mark Warbank. Mark Warbank likes popping candy. What can you say? But it was an in-joke. But yeah, so he liked popping candy, and I bought him some, and it's kind of a it went from there basically. But yeah, thanks for joining us. We've got Luke Allerton as well. Hiya. So if anyone's got any questions, so basically, you've gone out, you've done a lot of investigations, and basically you've not been getting that much, have you?
No, not at all. As I said, once I think Robbie's opened something there for us to work with now as well, and
Mike, can I just say something? Can I just interject there? When I went to RF Manby, you can't get in there now. You can't get in there. You can't do nothing. But I heard voices. Everyone heard voices in there. And do you remember the voice that we got outside in the spirit box? Where it said, "You never asked."
It never asked. Was that a Manby?
That was a Manby, and that was outside. That was actually outside.
Yeah.
And they reckon there's an actual person that goes around the perimeter of Manby and actually is basically looking after the building, and he's like a soldier going round. And
Oh, wow.
my wife sensed also a little girl. I don't want to go into that, but I know who she was. And there was only 6 of us there, so there was only a small team that was with us. And my daughter and her ex-boyfriend were with us, and yeah, we experienced a lot of stuff. When we actually said a prayer afterwards, and it was calm. It was a really calm night, and the wind started really picking up and like swirling. It was weird. Then we started walking back to the car, and we heard bang, 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 bang. It just like thunder. It's like something was shooting us. It was really weird. Yeah.
Oh my
So,
gosh. Wow.
so yeah, and that's a great place to go, but you can't get in there now, and there's security cameras everywhere,
Oh, no.
but from now on, I think it's going to be like controlled investigations. We're going to be going to places where we can go in and pay and and do stuff like that. So
I definitely
Yeah,
like.
so we're going to step away from the abandoned buildings, and we're going to focus more on paying to go to a venue rather than go to these derelicts now. Yeah.
It is difficult because you don't know what people are hanging around.
Yeah, you don't know.
No, this is it.
I've got a fantastic location near me. I don't mention it, but you're getting druggies in there and everything, and like if I go up on my own,
you don't want
it's
that.
not brilliant.
No.
And it's like people will probably hear me scream, but they wouldn't know where it was coming from. To be fair.
No,
Andrew, can you just tell the viewers what happened before we went in on Saturday night and how you felt after it?
Robbie felt that I know I'd got an attachment from we went somewhere a couple of weeks back, and I got an attachment. The next morning, my wife was going absolutely mad at me, saying there's something here, the dog's going mad, the dog was whimpering, the dog would not sit on this chair in my house. And I'm like, what is going on here? And I says, right, Rachel, get out the room, I'll sort it. And I said, right, wherever you are, leave my house. This is a peaceful house. This is house of love. I said the Lord's Prayer, and it's gone. But the dog was going mad. It was whimpering. The other dog was fine, but this one was sensing something. I thought, that's not right. And then spoke to Robbie, and he said, yeah, you've actually got something that is attached to you. Okay. So on Saturday night, before we even did the investigation, he basically got rid of the attachment, and did something to me, and I don't know what, but I felt a really massive weight off my shoulders, and I couldn't explain that, but I felt everyone I've spoken to that been on that investigation on Saturday felt as safe as anything.
All right.
2 people said they could have slept in there all night.
That's weird, isn't it? So how did you feel when you got this attachment with all this like kicking up around you? Did you feel any different? Did you feel tired or anything like that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's weird you should say that, because I did.
Because I've sort of had attachments before, and like I've had weeks where I've been absolutely shattered, and you think, well, this isn't right. I'm more shattered than I can reasonably be. You get sleep, and you think, well, I think I went to a doctor's as well because I was really that tired, and sort of playing something else. But then I clicked what it was, and it took ages.
I go to like box fit and stuff like that, so I'm like, I want to. Anyway. I want to try it. But it's been Saturday night. Just opened my eyes to a lot more things, and wow, it was just.
Have you done anything of that attachment since Saturday?
No, nothing.
Oh, that's right.
That's good.
Absolutely nothing.
he said he was more relaxed as well, didn't he, before he entered the building and that.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did say that.
When you did what you did, Robbie, I felt relaxed. If I'd have heard that scream, if you watch the video, guys, if I'd have heard that scream, I'd have been out. I'd have been in the car. I'd have been home.
But
I
the best
think that's the same with Mike as well, isn't it, Mike?
that scream was actually on command. I mean, I put you into a state where you could see the past, so you were explaining what you could see.
Yeah.
Then you said something about what was happening.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to say much, but to do with somebody being in pain, and just as he explained about this person getting into this painful experience, you heard an almighty scream coming from where the cellar was.
Yeah. Two people.
Yeah, there was actually two screams. There was a male and a female scream at the same time.
Yeah, that's what I heard. Yeah.
And somebody said, somebody said, well, somebody could be in the building, but you'd have heard people laughing and running out the building. There was nothing.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's it. So this video is on your page, isn't it?
Yeah.
Group,
It's on both, I think.
Investigators.
It's on both. We've got GPI and
Right, okay. It's actually in 2 parts as well. I've watched the first part, watched that last night. It's absolutely brilliant, you know. You start off with the human pendulum, don't you?
Yeah, I always start off with the human pendulum because that gets everybody into a state where they go, oh, I want to watch more.
Yeah.
I always try and do it with somebody that's never done it before because, again, they've got to experience it to believe it themselves.
That's right, yeah. It's a handy thing for a skeptic to do because it's all very well if the skeptic is in the circle watching, so they'll think, oh, the person's moving. But if you get a skeptic, just dump them in the centre and just let it happen, you know. And it's quite funny, isn't it, when they realise.
The biggest skeptic...
I can't remember if it was... Breaking up.
The biggest skeptic... And we did an experiment using him, and the guys will tell you what happened.
Wow.
I'm just thinking if that was in the first clip or the second clip.
That's the second part.
Have you not seen the second part yet?
Yeah, that was in the second part.
I didn't get a chance. I've been in a pantomime.
Yeah.
So
Second part.
That was another event, yeah.
That was emotional.
Yeah.
So,
when Eric had come round and that, he looked like he'd actually had a drink or something because he was so out there, wasn't he? He was so like just rolling around, you know, and even I was a bit worried for him, but
yeah.
But I think that was just his emotional state than anything else because he was feeling what I'd connected him to.
Yeah.
So he was feeling that person's emotions and it just got overwhelming for him.
Because the spirit didn't actually want to leave. It was panicking. It was saying it didn't want to go towards the door, did it? That's what it was saying. And he said, and Eric at one point, when you said, oh, can you see down? And as he looked down, he said he could see a pair of shoes, like boots and that.
Yeah, because the spirit died. I think it was in some kind of explosion, so he lost his leg. But he didn't realise in the other world, there's no disabilities, so basically we gave him his leg back, and it was as soon as we gave him his leg back, Eric started feeling a lot more calmer.
Oh, we've got Eric coming on as well now.
Oh, brilliant!
Yeah, that's cool. So, just got a couple of questions for you, then we'll let Eric join. He's just sorting his camera out. So, Anthony Lewis. Says, I wonder, any one of you, have you ever had feeling someone sat next door to you?
Yes.
All the time.
I get feelings. I've explained this to Robbie. I get the feeling sometimes, obviously, when everybody else has gone to sleep in the house and I'll be laid there, and I feel as if someone's next to me, and if I open my eyes at the point of me thinking it, I feel like I'm going to see something. So I don't know what that could be, honestly, to be fair. So, but I just thought I'd put that out there. I don't know if there's any explanation for that, or it's just me being...
No, you've got a protector guide as well, just as Andrew.
Okay. Yeah.
Your protector watching over you.
I don't know if that's answered the question for the guy, but I just thought it's sort of like on them lines,
Yeah. So you got spoken to Robbie before. Robbie is a great medium, just mediumship, but also focuses a lot on past life regressions. And you can actually book to speak to Robbie. I've actually done a past life regression, and it's bloody horrible, wasn't it?
Yours was a good. It was a good regression, but it was a sad life.
It was a horrible life, yeah. But I've actually filmed that. It's part of a ongoing story. I've got a link with a past life, but we're not going into that at the moment. But yeah, so it's definitely intriguing, the tale, and I am putting it all in my book, and I need to finish off that past life regression at some stage because it's a bit concerning.
And that past life was actually affecting you in this life as well. We actually figured out.
I know, we need to sort that one out. I had an issue at Derby Jail where I mentioned this, and something tried to strangle me, as with Viv and Daniel Winter, and somebody tried to strangle me while I was mentioning the story. Wow. Derby Jail, just outside. I've got Wes Coleman watching. How you doing, Wes? And happy Christmas. It's getting the time, isn't it? I've just bought a tree. It's just there, really, on the table. Just a little thing, but I'm not buying a big one because trying to clean them up afterwards is a bit much. Anyway, so you've got another team member who's about to join us called Eric. So let's welcome Eric. Hello, Eric.
Hi, guys.
Hello. Nice to meet you.
Hello, Eric.
Hi, buddy.
So we've had a bit of a conversation about what happened recently, at a recent investigation. But what about you, Paranormal, Eric? When was your first encounter? Or have you had
Saturday.
So how did you feel until then about Paranormal?
I look at this. It's and the guys know this, and I've been truthful about it. It either happens or it doesn't.
Right.
Now, with Saturday, as everyone else has said, what I've heard, Rob made it so calm and controlled. It seemed that it was going to be an eventful evening.
Right.
So as things progressed and the experiments were happening and stuff like that, and then, like you said about 10 minutes ago in the second video, we did a circle thing. And normally, I've been to that place where we went Saturday quite a few times, and nothing's really happened. So it was an experience that I'd never thought would ever happen to me. And so with what I know or what I can remember, I definitely would do it again. And like Mike said and Andy said, and with Rob on board as well, for where we move on and go into enclosed other places and that, I think it'll progress.
Okay. Until then, what was your scariest encounter?
The scariest?
Or
not really been scared.
Ever happened? Okay. So what's happened before then? Did you have any calls or anything?
No. Basically, what happened Saturday is the first time anything that's happened to me.
Right, okay. So you've just gone in buildings before, not picked up anything?
Yeah, not picked up. But I've got, I've held the equipment. I've got my own equipment as well. And, I've looked back on videos, or I've looked back on a mic, on the mic and all that, or whatever else. And yeah, there's things that's happened and there's things you could question and that. But personally, nothing's ever happened to me. So Saturday was the first.
So you're a skeptic then?
Yeah, if you want to put it that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So people told ghost stories. What did you think when people told you stories?
What about where we went Saturday, or?
No, whenever. If people say, "Oh, they've had this and that," what did you ever think?
I look at it rationally.
Right. Okay.
It's a case of, if it happened, and if it doesn't, it doesn't. There's a logic to everything, and it's how you perceive it and how our control and what depth you want to go into.
Right, okay, that's cool. So, okay, so you go to this building at RF Binbrook. How many of the are you? Some girls as well, aren't there? So
There is, yeah.
Yeah.
1, 2, 4, about 7.
Yeah, 7 of us.
Sometimes 8.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
right. Yeah,
just
right
a
from
group, go to this place, abandoned building, Binbrook.
Yeah.
You got some bits of tech, you got the REM pod and bits and bobs. You do the human pendulum, so
Yeah.
I guess it felt like a normal evening, did it?
It did, yeah, because obviously was all open-minded. We all went in there. We was all saying on that day as well, and we're going to get somewhere. So that's our main thing.
Really?
We just wanted to some kind of proof.
You just thought it's just a standard night. You're just going in the building like normal.
all
No,
of a
it
sudden,
wasn't standard. We had Rob with us.
He starts saying all the prayers and everything else.
Hey,
And
how did you have me
was
with
in
you
there,
as
weren't
well?
we? Yeah.
I think
Right.
Eric's last words were, "Never leave me in a room alone with him ever again."
Something like that. Something like that.
Okay, then. So what actually happened to you then, Eric? Here we go.
Well,
Now,
Go on, Eric.
can we stop for a second? Right, the footage can be found. It can all be found on Grimsby Paranormal Investigation site. I'll share it on here so you'll be able to see it. There's actually 2 videos the whole night, about 45 minutes apiece, aren't there? So,
Yeah.
So,
We
you know,
did
you
some-
can view that afterwards. And
We did
yeah.
some little bits of investigation before and in between the lives.
Right, okay.
And that, like the investigation we did just before the second part happened was the reason I did the thing I did with Eric, because there was it was connected to it. There was a connection. And that was an experience I don't think Eric will ever forget.
So, in your words, Eric, what happened?
yeah, well, right, Rob.
Set the scene.
Hey?
So, how did it all start?
All
Set the scene.
right. Well, I'm trying to think now. Was we upstairs or downstairs? We was upstairs, weren't we?
We were upstairs.
Upstairs,
Yes.
yeah.
After we did the first live from downstairs, we went upstairs above for where we was from the start, and like feeling the floors and all that, and putting tech around the room, which was the same size as downstairs. There's things that you'd notice in the room when you're walking around, everyone with like cameras and whatever else. And I noticed there was a coat bottle on the right side of me on the window ledge. And that was it, just that.
Yeah.
And anyway, we started to set up, and Rob said about going into a circle. So we all went into the circle and put our hands, well, I put my left hand out, put our hands out in the middle of the circle. And Rob doing his thing and closing our eyes and like relaxing and letting a spirit or spirits or energy to flow through us all, which we've done in the past, but not with Rob, but you know, sometimes you don't get it. But beyond me, with what Rob was asking or trying to get us to do, it was different for me. I don't know why, but he was asking like about touch and if we could see a figure and stuff like that. And for some known reason, I got a letter. Now, at first, it didn't come through clear because the light, as we was relaxing and Rob asking us to see about a light or anything, it was like below me and it was coming through. And I thought, you know, and it got bigger and it showed a letter. Now, it was a very strange sort of way the letter was. So we came away from that, and so a couple of them said they felt like a touch on the fingers and all that. And I'm one of these is, do you say something or do you not? So I didn't really say it out at first, and then was talking away. And I said, then I come out and says, well, actually, I had a letter. And that's when Rob decided to come close to me, and he said, basically, what letter was it? And I said it was a letter N, and it was in a capital N. Now, nothing like that's ever happened to me before, so I was a bit nervous about it, and he decided to put me not under, but basically get me to relax again and do what we did as a circle. With doing that, the letter N came through to me again, which was quite clear. And then Rob asked me for a name, and Norman come out of it. Nothing else. So that was we left it at that. And Mike had some research of the place where we was, but the name wasn't on the research. Prior to that, with all that happening and standing around, still kind of in the circle and talking, there was a noise behind me and Mike of the Coke bottle.
Right.
And there was no wind. It was raining, but no strong wind on the direction the Coke bottle went.
Yeah.
And it scared the hell out of Mike because he ran.
Yeah.
And
He ran forward, but to my right, we had, I think it was Lou, Mike's partner, wife, and someone else. And I kind of went forward as well because it's a reaction. When you hear someone kind of strength, you kind of go with that reaction.
Yeah.
But it's the direction, the way the Coke bottle landed and the noise of it. Now, it's a case of, for instance, I've got a cardboard box here. Now, what we can gather, and it's only what we can gather, is that the bottle was whacked.
Okay.
The reason being of the direction the bottle was and the noise of it. Now, with it, the fall, yeah, because if it was on the window ledge and someone just pushed it, it would have been where it, yeah.
Mm.
So Mike had the bright idea of picking it up and then like discussing, we was trying to figure out how it worked and all that, and come to a conclusion that might have been a spirit or something causing it, because nothing else was there. It was a cold room, but there was no wind. There's no strong wind to do what it did.
Yeah.
So I think it was where I could put it on the floor. Now, with that, we all stood round it. And I don't know if it was Andy or Rob or Mike even himself came up with saying, like, see if someone could, because it's just like with Rob said, it's a simple object. It's something you haven't made. It's something you haven't, in a sense, necessarily bought that moment. It could have been there for a few times. So it's a simple object, quite light. So people talked about and stuff like that, and it started moving. Mike picked that up,
spinning round.
Yeah, as Andy's just said, it was spinning. But we
spinning
didn't.
like a coin.
Yeah, we didn't. The problem was we didn't catch that on camera at the start of it.
A lot of the time you don't. So yeah.
Yeah. So we carried on by questioning if there was a spirit there, and we got out, and it was moving because it was moving either side. Now,
back and forth.
Yeah, backwards, forwards. So Andy walked around it, as you would see in the video. He walked around it to show that, the floor wasn't uneven. It was no one was touching it and stuff like that. And Mike and Andy were asking questions, and it was moving. It was sometimes it was a pretty fast movement, and then it was a very slow movement. And then Rob, the dear bloke, decided to come up with an idea.
As I do.
Well, before the idea, he kind of went not very close to the bottle, but close to do with heat. Now, I did the same because he was saying about heat, and I was stood near him, and so I put kind of my hand from a point of in front of us to where his hand was, and I could notice there was a bit of, not hot, but there was, and that's something I've never come across before. So there was heat there. So, like I said, Rob came up with the bright idea of seeing if it was Norman. He's a lovely bloke, Rob. So yeah. So we gave it a go. I'm up for anything, and it's like, so in the sense, if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. You give it a go, and you never know. And you know, someone else might have a different reaction to something when something else is going on. So Rob stood near me at the time. I put my hand out, my left hand, same hand, over towards the Coke bottle, and I listened to what Rob was telling me. So I ended up closing my eyes, bringing the light back in to my vision. Not very good. It wasn't quick. It did take a bit of time, and getting how can I describe it? Like a two-way or a conversation with whoever was in round us or in front of us.
Wow.
And then Rob was asking questions. And what I can gather of what I do know of is that my whole body language and facial totally changed.
Fantastic.
100%.
Scary for you. Like, I'm used to seeing this. You know, I've seen like a lot of people watching. You know, we go out, we do a lot of investigating, but when it's the first, it's amazing that we're hearing your first major encounter.
Well, the thing was, it wasn't. I didn't feel scared. I didn't feel scared, but it's one of those things where you haven't. Mike and Andy knows this from with where I've been with them. You know, it's put in your mind. You know, you have it. Is it happening? Is it not?
Yeah.
Is it what you see? Is it not? And you know, and at the end of the day, like Rob said, you know, even with what Andy went through as well from the first video, it's your mind at the end of it trying to compute everything. Because at the end of the day, our brains are computers, and it's basically, you know, you've got to. But yes, so if anyone watches the second half and sees the video, that's me, and that really happened.
Yeah.
Can you just explain to them about what you've seen and what we did for that person, or do you want to let them watch your video?
Well, what I saw
and how you felt as well while it was happening.
How can I describe it? Basically, it was a soldier, and he had one leg, and his name was Norman. Now, I'm not sure about the surname because I remember someone saying about asking for a surname, and I did say Johnson. So I'm not 100% sure on the surname. So yeah, it was a soldier. He had one leg, and from what the team was saying, and from where I've watched back the video, I was rocking. Now, to do with me rocking, and if over time I've thought about it, and I don't know if the other group has as well, with what the Coke bottle was doing as well. Was we imitating him rocking with one leg?
That's what I said to you when we were going home.
Yeah, because
the balance was off.
With the Coke bottle spinning and doing that as well.
100%.
What I can understand with what Rob and Mike and Andy were saying and the rest of the group, because they were holding on to me, is that I was leaning forward, like I was going to topple over.
Yeah.
And so with that, with Rob asking questions about moving on and stuff like that, come to a door. I'm not going to say everything about the video, but if you'd like to watch it and find out, then all well and
I will
good.
definitely share the link. We've got Gary Fields watching as well. Now, Gary, I think, I don't know. Gary he put me through some experiences. So when I first met him, he like pushed things on to me. So basically his guides linked with my guides. So I'd walk in a room and I'd see what was going on. And it sounds like Robbie does the same for you. He like helps you to like communicate.
Yeah.
And it's such a selfless way of doing it, because like Gary's helped me to like see what was in that room, and like Robbie, he's helping you as well to develop, which is absolutely fantastic. It's only Gary I've ever known who's done that. Of all the people I've met, that night I spent with Gary at Warwick Castle. My God, I was scared to death after that.
I used to live by
the
there.
best it is, once we were going home, I don't know who mentioned it, but one of them stated, "Did you notice Eric's voice and accent changed as well?"
Wow.
And it didn't register with me until after I thought back. Then I had to watch the video again, and I'm going, actually, his voice and like the tone of his voice and his accent did change.
Oh my gosh!
It did. Yeah.
Who did I? The first video. All of a sudden stood straight.
That was Andrew.
Yeah, Andrew. He like standing like that, and all of a sudden he stood straight.
Stood to attention.
And then it was the soldier coming. Yeah, I saw that. I noticed
That's
that.
when you were describing the attack.
You like repositioned.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah.
I'd never noticed that, so I tell you.
Watch it back. You actually, it was if you were the person doing the punishment on somebody. Yeah. You were like, you stood up as if to say, right, you're getting it.
It was it's like a soldier suddenly stepped behind you, and all of a sudden you became that soldier. That's what I interpreted that as. But yeah, I watched the video last night. It was so this is like, gosh, it's like you're coming out into the paranormal world, isn't it? Because you've done like things for years, not a lot, the odd flashing light, and then all of a sudden you just get something happen, and it just blows your head, doesn't it? And you'll be thinking about
It did me because, like I said, nothing like that's ever happened to me.
Yeah, that's right.
So it's a case of, like Rob said a while back, skeptic, like someone like me, I'll stand there probably in the background and I'll watch things and,
think whatever. Okay, why is that going off? Okay.
Yeah, it's, you make your own decisions at the end of the day. Right, but when, like I said a minute ago, I'm willing to give it a go, and that's why I thought, well, this is happening. What's going on? So, if you look, when like I say, when you see it, you'll know what we're all on about, because it was when I come out of it, which I don't know if the lads had noticed, I was rubbing my left leg.
Yes, you would, yeah.
Oh wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, I saw that, Eric.
And he was emotionally almost ready to be in tears as well after the session ended.
Yeah.
So it's something, as you rightly said a minute ago, something that's probably stayed with me for quite a bit. But at least at the end of the day, it opens your mind for when you go to other places, because I think the team that we have, I think we're going to do pretty well.
Yeah, it's a new start, really, isn't it?
As I keep saying, always keep your skeptic head on. Never lose the skepticism.
I'm making sure that Rob doesn't come with us, though.
Go to a location on your understanding it's not haunted. Our job is to find a rational explanation. Yeah. It's only when we can't find a rational explanation that's when it becomes paranormal.
Yeah.
I noticed as well, Robbie, we didn't move around as much either. Usually when we go into a paranormal, we like to circle the old premises, but we never did that, did we? We just went straight to one room, and you sort of brought them to us rather than us go looking and calling out around the corridors and stuff. Which I feel is better, because you're not looking, like you said, you're not going there thinking, no, it's haunted. You go in there seeing if it's haunted. There's a difference.
Yeah, you don't need to go into every single room.
No.
I mean, if you did that and did an investigation in every room, you'd be there for days.
Can I say something about that? It's when Robbie said to me, Rob, I'm going to go upstairs. And I went into that room, and Eric was worried about being in that room. No, I don't think we should have been here.
Wow.
And I thought Eric's worried about something. So something was there with him when we went in that room.
Yeah.
And and I saw him worried.
Well, I did say you HEs have got abilities, and once like we open up the session, the can of worms will be opened and it won't close down again.
It sounds brilliant. Yeah, you know, like I have watched the first video. I will watch the second one, but it's great what you captured. That scream, wow.
Yeah, it's mad.
That scream is insane. It really is.
I wish I'd panned round just to show everyone was in the room at the time of the scream. It's so clear down. It's bizarre. It really was bizarre.
Yeah, definitely.
Everyone's there.
Every time I play that clip, it just sends me back there. Honestly, it's so.
And it's the fact that happened just as Andrew said. Somebody's been about to be hit with a. Then as soon as he says that, you hear the scream.
That's it. Yeah. Everything that happened was a correspondence to something that we was doing. So with the circle and Eric picking up the word, and then obviously you following and channeling that, and then getting that Norman through. Everything had a purpose of what was going on, if that makes sense. You know, it wasn't just like, oh, what was that tap? Why would it be tapping? You know, it was weird. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed every minute of it.
So you've had your baptism of fire, then, so to speak.
Yeah, as I said, we've been going on these investigations, and we've never ever experienced anything like that before, ever.
The rights of it was definitely open.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. If we want, we are now.
It's brilliant. You know, I'm so pleased that I've, you know, we chatted.
I think I can speak for everyone. We all sort of went home thinking, what just happened? I think every one of us got home that night and said, what happened? I was even finding it with the missus just sat there watching the video going, I don't understand why that was doing that, you know, and it's
you had to actually be there.
Really can't wait to go do it out again, honestly, really good. Yeah. You've
got to actually be there and physically experience it to
That's
go.
Correct.
And even when you're there, you still don't physically believe it.
Yeah, I just wish we had more people just to witness that as it was just
experience it,
yeah, as it opened up like it did, yeah. Brilliant.
As I said, what I did on Saturday, I'll be doing with each member of the team because everybody has to experience it so they can understand it. You can't explain it.
I got the voices.
You can't really explain it. You've got to experience it.
Yeah. It is unusual because I for years just, you know, you go to a location, you get the off flashing light, then people are pushing tables or what, you know what I mean? I was a skeptic. I didn't believe in any of it, even though I lived with a spirit, but I just kind of like just totally ignored it. You know, I spoke to him but just totally ignored it. Oh, Lynn, love the fact that Eric fell into this. Yeah, it's brilliant, isn't it, Lynn? It really is. Yeah, but you know, to get this like raw experience.
Yeah.
You know,
no script.
The fact that it's just happened so recently as well.
Yeah.
And
so the amount of times that we've been there doing the paranormal itself and stuff, we maybe have been about 3 times to that same location.
Yeah.
And honestly, we've heard the odd tapping and stuff, but like there is leaks in there, obviously with the rain and everything else. So it's sort of like cancelling those out.
Yeah.
But then, there was nothing. I wasn't prepared for what happened that night. Honestly, I wasn't. It shocked me. It really did shock me. Yeah. I must admit. It shocked me.
So
in a good way.
Mike, then, did it scare you when you left in case it followed you home, or what did you think?
To be fair, I felt like it was controlled right by Robin. Robbie. The way he did the prayers before we went in, he cleansed obviously Andy. So I had no fear. That something was going to attach itself to me. I felt relaxed actually. Once we'd passed over the spirit that was there, the Norman guy, it relaxed a bit then. But then when he did the prayer as well, that just even relaxed you even more. So it was like, even though it was really cold, it was freezing. You just felt like quite only sort of. Do you know what I mean? Like warm inside and really good. Same thing for me, obviously. Yeah.
And as Jacqueline knows, when she's been out with us, I'll trap the spirits to the location they're in so they can't get out. They can't follow us. I'll bind them to where they're staying.
Yeah. But I mean, I've not seen anything yet, so I don't know about
Yeah.
you guys. I don't know if maybe you've seen it, but yeah, brilliant. Just a good night, really good night. Enjoyed it.
Yeah. So, how often did you investigate beforehand? How often did you go? Like once a month?
Well, we was out every weekend because we was new to it. We thought it was a bit of a laugh at first, as I said from the start. We thought it was a bit of a laugh. But get out there, get away from the missuses and whatever. It's like lads thing. Get out there, go do something.
Yeah.
And then the laugh turned into a little bit like, oh, we'll go buy something on eBay. So we bought a couple of bits and bobs.
Awesome,
and then all of a sudden, like you see now, obviously, Robbie's obviously reached out to Andy and then just blown it well out there. What I mean, literally just blew it all open for us. Yeah. So I think we just needed someone like that. We needed someone who had a bit of a closeness with the spirit world and stuff, as Robbie does. And we did say we could do with some like medium woman or man to come out with us just to see if they can maybe point us into the directions where we need to be. And we've always said that from the start as well, do you know what I mean? So we do want to get bigger, and it's just like Robbie said, baby steps, and then that's it.
Let's not run big leaps.
You just got to accept that this won't happen every night.
Rob's already said that to us. He said, you won't get this every night. You could come in and get nothing. It's a hit and miss. It's not a play. You're not going to see things just roll out in front of you. It's not going to happen. You could be stuck there for hours before you even get a little thing. Do you know what I mean? But
now you've got this foundation, and you know for certain that there is something that you can't explain out there.
Absolutely,
the K2 goes off. Why is it? We don't know. It's because people say it's EMF and people say it goes off for this reason. But what has occurred to you, has happened.
Yeah. The first thing you do is obviously, you've obviously got to cancel out if anything does go off, and you can think, well, could it have gone off because of this?
Yeah.
Because a lot of people could be shouting at a telly and going, it went off because that was too close to here, or that battery was too close to this. And it's just to reassure people, look, there's definitely nothing around this. Why that's going off, I've got no idea. Other than it's the spirit or something.
As a team, we've always done that. We don't want anybody to feel that there's nothing not real.
Yeah, explain it as best we can. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because we want that reassurance ourselves as well. We don't want to be like broadcasting something and telling you guys a load of gibbery-doos. We want to be as realistic and as positive and as truthful as we can. So if this cup fell over, I'd want to know why this cup fell over. What was next to it,
That's a credit to you guys. And
thank you. Yeah, appreciate that.
I just hope you keep this real as well,
Yeah, well, we're looking at ideas and that. We'll work with Robbie as well, and look at ideas for the future.
Yeah, that's great. Terry says, find the more you do a location, the more you get as they get to know you. I go to Haunted Antiques Paranormal Research Centre quite a lot in Hinckley, and I've got to know the characters, but I've also hosted there as well. So
that's the Haunted Museum
in Hinckley. Let us know if you go up there. I'll meet you there or something. Sort something out. But what happens? Like I hosted an event a few weeks ago, 12th of November. And there's 10 ladies went, and they were just picking up stuff. And I knew who they were picking up on, but I didn't tell them. But that gave me validation of the other experiences I had. And it was brilliant, like the main characters seemed to come through that night. And yet the week before, we've been there with Haunted Auckland. I've been there with Mark Wallbank and Laurie and Jones. And I've met, we met quite a few people there who are all experienced. And it was such a quiet night, but we've got loads of energy. We were laughing so much that night, and we didn't get a lot. And yet the weekend after, I went in, people who were more like did mediumship rather than paranormal, and they were just picking up loads. And just different nights, you get different levels of activity. And you don't know why. It's just an odd world, and you just get loads of questions, don't you? And I think you'll start getting the questions now, won't you, after what's happened?
I think you're right. Yeah, I think we will do.
I've had loads.
Yeah. But
when you did the experiment on Wednesday, your phone was going nuts asking you, was that real or not?
Yeah.
Can I just ask a question just while we're on here, just to Eric, actually, this is. Obviously, going back to the live that we did, can you remember being on your mobile phone at any time next to me? It's just so I can cancel some of this out. It's Just
No,
since that's
I wasn't.
you weren't on your phone at all.
No.
Sorry. It's only going back to because I can remember you sending a text to someone, but I just wanted to make sure the tapping noise was definitely on your phone. Yeah, that's fine.
No,
Yeah.
I wasn't on
Yeah,
my
do you know, just before the screen there's the tapping, and I think
No, he was
it's
standing
corresponding
beside
to the
me.
typewriter, but I just wanted to clear that and just
He
that's
was
fine.
standing roughly where I was, and his hands were
Yeah, I
actually in
couldn't
his
see who was behind me, you see, so I just thought I'd ask
Yeah.
that if anyone was near me, because I was more concentrated on what Andy was
Sounded
doing.
like
That
a
was what-
typewriter.
yeah, it did sound like a typewriter, mate. You're right, yeah.
That's
100%.
brilliant.
Yeah,
Yeah.
brilliant. That's good.
But I'll certainly post the links for everyone to watch. But yeah, the first one is brilliant. You know, I really enjoyed it. But yeah, I have been rather busy, and I managed to watch it last night before I went to sleep. But yeah, I will catch up on the second one. But yeah,
The
I'm
second
glad,
one is good.
But you know, for you guys, you know, you get on well together. You know, you've gone out and something really crazy's happened. It's brilliant. So when you book, what location do you actually want to book then? Start with Mike.
I will mind the old Nick again in Gainsborough.
Right, yeah.
Yeah,
Never been there.
we've done it before. We didn't get nothing, but everyone seems to go and get something. So
Yeah,
maybe,
looks interesting.
just like you said, yeah.
I want to take them to somewhere where I've been a couple of times, and it is a really good location. The Royal Arcade in Keighley.
Okay, that's the underground street, is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, I think you mentioned. Yeah.
I've mentioned that. And I've told you a couple of stories about it. That is that,
Wow.
and not far from that as well. There's actually an abandoned mill Redford Ghost Hunters took me to. Now that is a scary place in the basement.
Wow.
You need balls of steel to get down there. That's where I get blood marked. I showed you the picture.
Did somebody get
Eric,
crushed down
Eric, you'll be
there?
fine.
Yeah,
Did someone get crushed with something falling on them?
it was somebody that, yeah.
Oh, okay. I don't know where I got that from, but hey ho.
That
yeah.
was that happened in the third floor. The spirit won't enter the third floor. He kind of hangs out in either the ground floor or the first floor. He won't go up to the third.
Oh, okay.
Because that's where the accident happened, and that's where he met his end, and it was a painful end as well.
Ouch. So
And I
what
picked
about
up on that. I didn't know the area at all. I was describing it, and the team that took me, like just like their team, they take me like every team I've ever been out with as a guest. They like my kids call it my spidey senses. They want to see my spider senses kick in. So it'll start like picking up things, and like everybody's faces will start like they'll tell you the same thing. They'll just go, "What the fuck's he doing? How does he know this?"
Yeah. Oh, brilliant. What about you, Eric? Where would you like to go?
Wherever the guys go.
Right. Anywhere specific?
Simple as that.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. Certainly got a great team. So
Yeah, I think we've got a good rapport.
The team's more like it's more like a family than a team. I noticed that on Saturday. They all bounce off each other.
Yeah,
Quite close. Yeah.
So what you friends, how long you known each other?
Yeah, well, I work with both of those guys there.
Oh, okay.
Obviously, I do sales representation with a rep with Andy.
Oh, wow, cool.
And Matt's a sales rep as well, who you'll see in the pendulum.
Oh, smart.
And then Eric is in the warehouse, mate.
Yeah.
Oh,
Warehouse
brilliant.
man. We've known each other for a couple of years now, haven't we?
7, 8 years since I've come to Grimsby.
Yeah, about 5 years for me.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, okay. So that's brilliant to like get on with your work colleagues that well and have.
I wouldn't have gone that far. Hold on, whoa. It's bad enough we got Rob on the team. Come on.
Thank
What
you,
took
Eric.
the time out of work with them?
I love you, Rob.
Yeah, that's awesome. And, like, it's just something really different from going to the pub, isn't it? Or going down coffee or something.
Do you know where I want to go? My pinnacle to 30 years drive.
Yeah.
That will be on the cards, but that's an expensive place to hire for the night.
Oh, good it is, yeah. Even on a weekday, like I've looked at it and thinks it's a bit. It's one of them, isn't it? Like you're paying quite a bit on a weeknight, And
Really?
oh God,
Yeah, it's about £500 during the weekend. You're close to £700-800 at weekends.
and
Blimey.
you can only have a certain number there. Well, you don't want many there, to be fair.
I think the most. It's a small house, so
You don't
it'd
want
be
people there.
any more than 8 people, then it's overcrowded.
Yeah, because
Blimey.
when I've been to Hinkley, it's got a lot of rooms. I've been there with 6, and it's right. You know, you just want enough people to create energy, don't you? But obviously, you're a team, so that's
And if
fine. You all know each other.
If you get too many people and doing different experiments, you can hear each other.
Oh, it doesn't work. Yeah, that's right. Terry Davison wants to know who makes the tea.
Eric,
Eric.
Eric.
tell them what you did at the last event. I couldn't believe when they told me.
Oh,
I let Mike say that.
that's cool.
Was that we went to Lincoln?
Yeah, we went to Lincoln, didn't we? And
we went to Lincoln to an RAF place. It was a bunker and a watchtower.
Wow.
And Eric decides that he's bringing a little, pasting table.
Oh
And he had
gosh.
his stove, he had his stove, his tea bags, his kettle, everything you can imagine in the kitchen. He had it on his side, and he kept us all nice and warm, didn't you, mate?
Yeah, chocolates, crisps,
seats. Looked after us. We didn't want to leave. Didn't want to go home.
Oh, that's lovely. That's smart.
That's good then.
Gosh. So earlier on, I think Luke's gone now. Luke is actually from Grimsby. He's with Breaking Paranormal. He now lives in Nottingham, right near me. But he says, what's the most haunted place in Grimsby way? What do you find most haunted?
In Grimsby?
That place I can't pronounce.
A place you can't pronounce?
Willesby Woods.
Willesby Woods.
I keep calling it Weebsbury Woods. That or
Willesby, yeah.
I
went to Willesby last time. I went, yeah.
I
didn't have anyone to go with.
Bradley.
Do you know what? I'd love to do Grimsby Docks.
The
Grimsby Docks.
Yeah,
there's a
That's
big
more outside. That's more outside as well, but you got outbuildings and stuff. But I think we might be able to clear that with people that we work with. Might be able to give us the key to go into that place, so that'd be good.
Awesome.
There's a big ground building on the other side of the docks I want to go to, but apparently it's out of bounds.
I've never been around the docks. I've only seen the big. I've only driven through the centre of Grimsby to get to the tower. So yeah, you see the tower, don't you?
Yeah.
You're going to need a permit through the council to do that.
That's right. Yeah.
There's a couple of buildings. There's that white building I explained. It's I think it's actually in Cleethorpes rather than Grimsby.
It's the ice house, isn't it? That one. Is it the big? Is it near the railway track?
Yeah, it's just in front of the railway station. In fact.
Right. Is that derelict? Is it? Because I thought that was still functional.
No, it's upstairs. Upstairs is empty.
Right.
It's upstairs. I'm getting a feeling from.
So the cafe.
Sorry.
No.
Big white cafe. No.
There's no a cafe. No.
Okay.
Then there's a building not far from me. It's a brown building. I think one of you said it used to be a pub.
Yeah, that's what Mike said. Just
yeah. I want to go in there as well.
Wow. I'm intrigued by the Tertiary Trust. It's now part of Haven. So that was, I don't know, that's always had weird vibes for me. Actually visited the location, now it's got caravans on it. But that was, I don't know, that's always given me the creeps.
But Grimsby's full of buildings that have got, like, every time I walk past them, I get something saying, go in there and see what's there.
Yeah.
There's a lot of history there as well, isn't there, with Grimsby? With obviously the fishing and that. The Fishing Heritage Centre now, that could be, and the Ross, is it the Ross?
The Tiger Ross.
Tiger Ross, yeah. That's
I want to do the boat, not so much the actual centre itself, but the boat I want to do, because I've got questions. There's like, I'm getting sense, like I can sense what's happened on that boat, and I want to go in and try and confirm it.
I've contacted them, Robbie, and they said we could do it the new year.
Yeah.
But There's a lot of work going on to the boat at the moment to repair
Yeah.
it. So.
Because I'm sensing a lot of things, like certain things have happened in that boat, and I just want to confirm to see if I'm right.
Oh gosh.
But we
Did
can't. We could I just stop you there because I've been strictly. We can only give first names.
Yeah,
We can't go. We can't go
don't.
live.
This would be a private investigation, so there'd be no record date
yeah.
anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you say Skidbrook was closed now?
Yeah,
It is closed. It's all subsidence now. All the graves, everything, the building's leaning over. It's bad now. Yeah.
When was that closed?
They've caged it all off. We went there probably
2 months ago.
A month or so ago.
Month or so, yeah.
Yeah, it was
It's
about.
I went in September. I did well to get in then, didn't I?
Yeah, you did. Yeah, it's all cracked down the sides of it now.
Yeah, I saw bits. Oh my gosh, I'm gutted about that place. It's beautiful, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
oh my gosh.
They were talking. I don't know. I think it was Andrew that was talking about it. Then, like, I kind of Google Earthed it just to see the place, and then I was telling him because, as you know, Jack, I can see things through photos as well.
Yeah.
So I kind of Google Earthed that. I was telling him what I was feeling, and he's gone, yep. I'd never heard of this place before in my life.
Well, I go to Cleanthorpes quite often, and I didn't kind of know where to go. And I was just like Googling, and I saw the name and thought, oh my God, I've heard of that. So I decided to go and visit, which I'm glad I did, really.
When is it you're back down here again? Because I missed you the last time.
Don't know now. So, be camping season whenever that is.
That'll be April onwards.
March, end of March, yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
You're always welcome to come out with us whenever you want.
Yeah, cheers. Because I go the other woods as well. You got Dixon and the other woods next door to Dixon Woods.
We had a good night when you were in Scotland when we took you to that abbey.
Oh gosh, yeah, that was a cool night. Yeah. Apart from the people going through it, but yeah, you get that, don't you?
But you came up with some good evidence. You were sensing all sorts.
I got the monks walking down the sort of. I could see the monks marching, and when you looked at what that was, it was the walkway, wasn't it? And
yeah,
there
was a cloister.
Yeah, that's it.
Wow.
Yeah, but my mediumship's come on since then anyway. Yeah, I've just given a reading to someone, which went down really well. So yeah, that's awesome. But yeah, once you sort of go down the route of mediumship, it is intriguing. And the thing is about investigating as well. Say you've got a light and you say no, make this flash for a yeah, no. You're having to get the questions. And if you pick up mediumship, you're given the questions to ask, which helps. But if you do that without any information, it's awkward and hard work, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it's better when you're more in tune and you're having a conversation mediumistically or whatever, but then you're getting these tools like flashing just to give you the extra validation, really.
Yeah,
so that's what I'm trying. That's what I'm trying to do with the team rather than using tech. I want them to use their own natural abilities.
Yeah.
So I'm getting each of them to do different little experiments with their own type of abilities.
Sorry about coughing.
Fantastic. Oh, that's bless you. Yeah, it's fantastic though, isn't it? And it is great when you get things and then you get validation, but then you find another team will go there and they'll get that. Like in years to come, you'll watch something and then you'll say, yeah, I got that. And I tend to share what I get, and like I might say, oh, I got Mary in this room, she da da da, and then if somebody actually reads it and then they get that is so cool. I was at a Parafest, and there's a speaker there, and I was on about this character, and I went to describe him, and others said, yeah, we know him. And it's awesome, isn't it, when somebody else can take this and they've actually had the similar encounter. So, hope you're okay.
That's smart.
Hey, Jay Walker. But, So, what's your plan next then? Where are you going next?
It's got to be a venue inside. I think we'll all speak amongst ourselves, but we'll certainly let everyone know once we've thought of it and come together a
Apart
bit.
from me, don't
It
tell
would-
me.
That we won't be he'll be totally in the dark, so he won't get to know anything. So
It's going to be the new year now, yeah.
give us time.
I'm sure we can find somewhere.
We're looking at getting some new gear as well. You know, obviously get some new tops. You know, hoodies.
Yeah, bless you.
We've got. I think everyone's got a lot on before the new year. So.
Yeah,
I'm sure we can find a place before New
New
Year.
It's time of year, isn't it? Really. Yeah, you've got like responsibilities and stuff, which sometimes you have to do these things.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've got a lot on, but I'm hosting at Haunted Antiques on Friday.
And I'll be building some more equipment for the guys as well. I just need to order the parts.
Yeah, you do tech as well, don't you? Which is brilliant.
Yeah.
I've seen what you've
That's
done.
good, that is.
Yeah, I do like that.
They got to play with some of the tech at the weekend, like the Rembear, which gave us some really good communication.
Yeah. What was the tablet that you had? What was that? That was really good.
That was just
Team Spirit Paranormal, was it?
That was Team Spirit Paranormal. That's a free app you can download. One of the teams in England developed that app themselves.
There's a guy called Brian Holloway and Samantha Humble, and Brian's an app developer, and he's developed. Got AJ Walker watching as well, and they've got their own app as well.
Oh,
so
brilliant.
he's actually gone ahead and actually developed apps. And that Team Spirit Paranormal, it's a mad one because I went up to Scotland and all of a sudden you're getting Scottish accents and Scottish dialects on. And yet the people from Team Spirit Paranormal are from Sheffield.
Really?
So it hasn't got any voices. So Terry, what area do you cover? So it's Grimsby and
we go everywhere, don't we?
Yeah. We're gonna try and at least get a couple of hours out of town if we can do.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Broaden it a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, if you want to come to Nottingham, let us know. Meet up with you something.
I know Nottingham quite well, and Newark and around that area.
Oh, are you from there then?
No, I'm from Leicester, Warwickshire. I'm from Warwick. I could see Warwick Castle out my window in my bedroom.
Oh God! Oh, how beautiful!
So I can go towards like Skeggy way on and stuff like that. Because obviously that's where I work around that sort of area, and Louth and Boston, and branch out. Yeah, so I can be looking.
Yeah.
So Heidi Spencer says, "Come down south, some great places." I want to go down.
You never know. Maybe we could. Yeah.
I want to go down Rougham. I want to try and spend a couple of nights down south next year.
And we're also going to start. Well, I used to do it in Scotland. To go, like, if anyone contacts us, if there's something happening in our house they don't understand, we'll go and investigate it, find out what's wrong. Then we'll find a way to make the house a lot safer for them.
Yeah, that's right. I think far too many paranormal teams go out just to do paranormal. But actually, if you're doing something like that, you've got to help the residents. It's not about what you're getting. It's not about the team and, getting.
That's what I used to do before my son convinced me. That's what I used to do before my son convinced me to start doing live events. And 90% of my work was private and never recorded.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Yeah, that's it. But you're still getting evidence, aren't you? Still getting stories and tales. And obviously you can't mention the name or say where it is, but
I can just give rough little stories, but I can't make it personal.
Well, that's right. That's it. And that's what I find paranormal is about, just stories, isn't it? And experiences, and it's just so cool.
Well, I never log those stories anyway because they're private. If the resident wants to tell the story after it, that's up to them.
That's it.
But I don't mention anything.
You don't want anything identifiable or anything which would ever come back on them. No, that's right. No, you've got to be respectful of their wishes. Yeah, and that's it, really. But thanks for joining us. And
it's okay.
It's so awesome to hear your story. From people who if you say a week ago, you go, oh yeah, I just go out and I do this, and this week, it's just been a major change, hasn't it?
It's been a total mind beat.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm with you on that, mate. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's certainly opened my eyes up. That has. Absolutely.
My crazy mind thing was I went somewhere and for some reason I was picking up everything, emotions, and there's a trans medium and she's picking stuff up, but I was getting it, she was getting it. Well, I thought, what the hell? Then this little girl like took over my body, and that really scared the hell out of me. And my head was going to my mouth, get it out of me. I don't even mention it to people. I was horrified.
That's what I said to Andrew. That's what's going to happen to him because, like, I've opened up his abilities. We need to find a way of controlling him quick, or he's going to get overwhelmed with.
I've done it, Robbie. You know I have. I told you.
Yeah, well, I gave him the techniques to open and close his abilities on command.
Because I've spoken to my wife, and she says, "Welcome to my world." and she says, I says, "How do you control it?" She says, "You'll find out yourself."
You'll have to.
Everybody's got their own way of finding their on and off switch.
I know. I've done it.
Right.
You haven't.
They reckon?
Nope, because
not that quick. No,
I told you it would take
months
challenges to figure out how to do it.
You got to get different challenges.
Really?
Spirit do challenge you in different ways.
And as I said, you've got this ability you've got. It's got several parts to it. You've only opened one part out of up to now.
Blimey. Okay.
You don't learn in one go. I've been trying to learn for 8 years.
Blimey.
I've been doing it for 37 years, and there's still things that happens to me. I'll go, "What the hell's just going on?"
Yeah. How do can I ask you, Robbie? How did you feel about that scream on Saturday night?
That was unexpected because your ability, to be honest with you, I don't know how strong your ability is yet, and you manifested that scream. We were just hearing your story and what you could see, and because of what you did, as Jacqueline said, you stood upright, like your spine just went into a straight lock. Yeah. You started describing, then all of a sudden that scream, that was you manifested that so we could all hear.
Yeah.
Crazy, isn't it?
Oh, wow. you do have to be careful. Like Heidi says she went to an isolation hospital and ended up getting pneumonia.
Oh, blimey.
Yeah. So you do have to be careful with spirit because you don't kind of know. You don't actually know what you're messing with in a way.
So we don't know how strong your abilities are. This is just like dipping their toes in the water kind of thing now.
Right, okay.
But as I said, your awakening still to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. This has been so interesting, and I think maybe like I want to speak to you again in like maybe a year, and all this will be like, oh yeah, that happened. But yeah, the fact that this is all like new, it's fresh, it's great, and it's been wonderful speaking to you. It really has.
Thank you.
Likewise. Yeah, thanks for having us.
Thank you so much for your time.
You've been lovely. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Take care. But want to thank everyone who's watched. Want to thank everyone's comments.
Thank you, guys.
Heidi, no abilities but love going out on investigations, and it's a thrill of a chase. You don't know what's going to happen, do you?
Everybody's got abilities. You just need to figure out how to open them up.
Yeah, that's it. We don't know how strong theirs are also, but yeah, you just don't know. But I sort of thought that at an investigation, nothing ever happened. I needed a brick to hit me by his spirit for me to say something was there, even though I lived with stuff. And in the end, I'll speak to him.
Yeah.
So
well, Eric got a brick hitting him, didn't you, Eric?
No, I didn't get a brick, man. I got an house.
Not a bungalow.
No, not a bungalow, mate. It was a 2-story building, mate. Right on top of me.
But thanks so much. Thanks everyone for watching.
No worries.
Thank you.
Goodbye. Thank you, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Take care.
Bye.